the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
Hell yeah. High Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Film Review, episode 204, right up there. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
And
All right, I think I know.
our special first half guest this week, June Bugspade. What's going on, June?
What's up, fellas? Happy to be back.
Yes, sir. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Nestor.
How's it going, everybody? Had some technical difficulties, but we're good.
Yes, back here in Hillsborough County, that internet just ain't the same like down in Sarasota. So
Yeah, way different.
Nestor. What the fuck happened to your closet doors, man? Talk to me. What's happening?
I took them off. I was
that
going
not
for
going?
the industrial look.
What do you do in the closet that makes your wife not trust you with closet doors? What
hey, I took off
what's she
some
catching
closet
you doing?
doors too. Put a TV in there.
Oh, see?
Oh, that's nice.
2024.
Jalen, you do weird shit. I expect that of you. But this guy,
There.
you don't even have bed, Jalen.
This is
You
true.
got the casting couch over there.
I'm in the living room.
This whole show is disjointed. Let's take a shot, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's take that. I think this is enough for a shot. I think because I didn't actually have a shot glass with
It
me.
I
looks
think that might be a little bit
so
too
warm.
much.
Is that still water? Nestor?
It's hydrated.
It's Skybar.
Shout out to Sky.
Still doing that Buffalo Trace.
I am I've got some 4 rows of small batch.
Oh, nice.
Love it.
I did some Malibu.
Malibu. There you go. That's
All
what
right,
Nestor should be
folks.
drinking. Golfing, bitch ass.
We are less than 24 hours away from the start of the 2024 NFL season. We've waited too long. We've waited too long. It's been a long off season, boys. But we're finally coming up on this. Folks at home, if you're not aware, you can watch the show live on YouTube every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Set an alarm, mark it on your calendar, whatever you got to do. Or you can just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you'll be notified whenever we go live or post a new video. So be sure to do that. Hit the little bell notification. If you're just listening to the show, it's always the first link down in your podcast description. So give us a like on the YouTube version. Helps the channel grow. And like I said before, subscribe to the channel. So with all that being said, yes, the 2024 season is upon us. We've already given all of our record predictions for all 32 teams. So if you want to go back and look at those, go ahead. But you've had the whole summer to do that. What we are going to do this episode is get into some predictions as far as who's going to win the AFC, who's going to win the NFC, and then who is going to be the league MVP this year. Which, speaking of which, I just want to mention last year. I'll save that. I'll save that for when we're done with this segment. I'm pretty sure I have our
somebody was
predictions
right.
from last year,
Oh, well, you got the predictions. Oh shit.
just to for shits and giggles. But I'll do that when we're done here. So let's start off with the AFC this year. Who we think is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl in 2024 or 2025. June, we will start with you, sir.
Oh, AFC.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Best
Well,
Dolphins.
I picked this team last year, and I'm sticking with my guns. They didn't do it last year, but they was there. But I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. I just feel as though this is it. I just feel as though this is their time. I was watching, and it's hard to really go against Patrick Mahomes at this stage of his career because he's just so good. The team is just so talented. But First Take did a great show today, and they talked about the thing that may stop Kansas City was their depth. The depth at defensive line, the depth at linebacker, the depth at defensive backs is lacking, and the depth at wide receiver. What Patrick Mahomes proved, he don't need wide receivers to win, but still, it still catches up with you after a while. And I just think that the Baltimore Ravens, even though they did lose their defensive coordinator, but they did gain, Derrick Henry, which is a big deal. It's he's still a big deal guy. I think that's going to help them get over that hump, and I think that's going to help them beat the Kansas City Chiefs and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
All right. Baltimore is June's pick. They will beat the Chiefs, get to the Super Bowl. I like it. By the way, G Money will be giving his picks when you see him at the top of the second half of the show. So stay tuned. Malin,
Is he already calling him in the chat?
He was just alerting us that he will be doing that.
Okay. I thought he about to be impatient, start throwing it in the chat. Listen, I'm pretty sure I did not pick the Chiefs last year.
I can
think
that, which is correct.
Pretty sure I did. Yeah. Don't tell me who I picked because whoever it is, stupid. Because I'm done picking against this man. It's like the Tom Brady effect at this point. You pick against him and you're going to look stupid at the end of the year more times than not when it comes to at least getting to the Super Bowl. Last year going into it, we were like, well, they got Tony at wide receiver. We don't know what, Rashee Rice is going to do. We don't know what is, Pacheco going to do. They don't really got much running game. And for some reason, we held the fact that they didn't have Juju against them. I don't know why we did that. But now he's back with the team. So maybe that's some bad Juju, good Juju. Cancel out Juju. I don't know what Juju, but you got to go with the Chiefs, man. Because it just doesn't matter who this man has on his roster. He doesn't need to throw 50 touchdowns. He doesn't need to throw for 5,000 yards or 4,500 yards. He needs to play smart football, which he does. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Andy Reid is a genius on the offensive side of the ball. Anytime that you got Chris Jones locking down your defense, it doesn't seem to matter who else is around him. So it's like you got these linchpins in place and you can just keep rotating out the pieces and they keep winning 12, 13 games a year. And they're going to do the same thing. And if they win 12 to 13 games this year, the AFC Championship game is probably running through Kansas City again. If it's running through Kansas City again, I don't see a team beating them in Kansas City. And I would love to pick the Ravens, June. I would love to do it because they are like a hot number 2, and I think they'll be right there with them. Maybe if they can steal home field advantage, I don't know, but Lamar Jackson in the playoffs just makes me nervous. I think he presses too much, which causes mistakes, and Lamar Jackson, for as great as he is, needs more talent around him to produce for him to be successful more than Mahomes. Mahomes make everybody else around him better. Lamar Jackson needs other people to be better for him to really, truly be great. And so I got to go with Kansas City. Watch me pick him this year and then be wrong. If that happens, fuck you, Brittany Mahomes. I don't even know my brother's name, but fuck him too. If that happens, and all these Taylor Swift fans can stick a popsicle where the sun don't shine if they don't make it to another Super Bowl, because I'm picking them this year. All right, it needs to happen, or I'll rocket pop your ass.
Nestor, who do you have representing the AFC?
I'm not gonna go with the Chiefs because that's the boring answer. I mean, it's kind of like a given. So
Boring doesn't mean it's
I want to
not
go
right.
with the more fun answer. I'm not gonna go with the Ravens. I don't trust them, and it's not just because of last season. I just don't trust them. I don't trust their O line. There's just a lot I don't trust there. So
Homer alert.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins for the AFC.
Told you, Homer alert.
I think we're gonna see not such a great season from Josh Allen and company during the regular season, but I think towards playoffs are gonna pop off, and I think some of the teams are gonna pop off, and I don't think I kind of wonder if we'll have to face the Chiefs. That's all I'm gonna say in the playoffs. So we'll see. I could see us beating the Bills or maybe Cincinnati to get to the Super Bowl. So yeah.
Are you wearing a Chargers hat?
Nah, that's a Alpine
Crazy.
Formula One.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Oh, Formula One.
I was like, wow, this man all about Justin Herbert.
I thought you had a Chargers hat. I thought you were about to say the Chargers are coming.
Not one of those fans.
Dude, I thought he was gonna do a hot take with like the Jets or something. That is gonna roll out
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers for
Rodgers'
MVP
journey.
I'm not mad at either June or Nestor's pick, but there's a right pick here, and then there's several wrong picks. I am not picking against the Chiefs. I didn't do it last year.
No, be fun.
I'll be damned if I start doing it this year. So I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't think much more needs to be said.
It's just one of these things, Jalen. Like when we're making picks, it needs to be a pick that I'm willing to put money down on.
Right.
And if I'm putting money down on it, then I'm gonna go with the safest bet.
Right. The question here, folks,
I'm gonna
remember,
go
is
safest
not who's
bet on
going
this
to
one.
win the Super Bowl. I don't even ask
It's
that
just
question.
who's coming.
It's just who's coming out
Yeah.
of the AFC.
Right.
So let's move over to the other side. NFC, June, who do you have?
Man, I've been wrestling with this all day long. And I'm not picking the Cowboys. I know, surprise. I'm not picking the Cowboys. I do believe the Cowboys are going to get to the NFC Championship game. I believe it's that time. I believe they're right on that cusp of doing it. I think a couple of pieces got to fall in place for them to do it, but I think they can. But I'm going to pick a team that this team is damn near complete. Even if the quarterback, I don't think is the best quarterback in the NFL, he's still a top 10 quarterback, and that's Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I like the way this team is made up. And this is a team last year that was one half away from going to the Super Bowl. They were one half away. A couple of ball bounces, they just kind of fell apart. And I think that's the youth and inexperience of both the head coach and some of the players on the team. I think this team is poised to turn around and make that run back to the NFC Championship game against my Cowboys and beat them. I truly believe that. I think that team is ready. I think they got a head coach that believes in. Let me tell you something. I like the head coach. Even though that was a bonehead play that he called in the Dallas game last year, I still believe that his team was behind him 100%. They did not give up on him. So the Detroit Lions, I believe in, if you guys don't believe in this, I do. I believe in the Super Bowl hangover. It's happened to every team. Okay, I believe in that Super Bowl loss hangover is real. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going to pick San Francisco. I'm not going to do it. I believe the Eagles are a team that's going to be getting into the playoffs, and they'll make it to the playoffs, but then they'll lose because it's just going to take a gel. They got a gel together. I don't think Saquon Barkley's going to have that big of a season. Atlanta's young, but I think they're going to make some noise in the playoffs. And I believe it's Detroit's time. I believe they're going to run the table at some point, get the number 1 seed, and everybody's going to have to end up going to Detroit. They're going to be tough to beat there. So I'm taking the Detroit Lions in the NFC.
All right, Malin.
Are you ready for this, Jalen? This is my hot take. Hot.
Here we go.
Right off the George Foreman, right off the Blackstone people. Okay. I believe my heart of hearts, and I've never believed this in over 30 years.
Oh, God.
God.
June's
Oh.
Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to happen. I think it's crazy enough to fucking happen. Hear me out. Hear me out. We all know that San Francisco has the best roster in the NFC. They've had the best roster in the NFC since 2019. They've never gone to back-to-back Super Bowls. Okay, there's always a little bit of hangover, and they're one hamstring away with CMC from being an 8-9 team. Okay, let's not kid ourselves. If they lose CMC, if Trent Williams goes down with a knee injury, they have not had the injury bug the last couple of years. Everybody else be getting that injury bug. They're not having that injury bug. I really do believe that Dak Prescott is going to put up enough wins to get home field advantage in the playoffs. I think the NFC East is weak. I think that the Eagles are the weakest that they've been in years. I think the division is going to be easier for the Cowboys to win than any other division in football. I say that because the NFC South doesn't have any great teams. Okay, NFC West is going to be easy for the Niners. The NFC Central, or is it called the North? You got several good teams there. You don't know what's going to happen between Green Bay and Detroit, and I think you're going to accumulate some losses between these people. That is going to end up with Dallas Cowboys getting the number 1 seed and the only team having the bye. And I really do believe that defense, that offense, I just think it's their year. I think Dak Prescott is going to throw up a giant middle finger and make $65 million a year after this year. I think Jerry Jones is going to bust out of a coffin with his little crypt keeper ass and just be happy and die on the field holding a Lombardi trophy. I really do. I just think that it is. I don't know, man. I just think the stars have finally aligned for them to get to the NFC Championship game. And I just think if they get to the NFC Championship game, it's going to be at home. And I don't think they're going to lose it. I worry about the pedigree of the Lions a little bit. I know they made it to the NFC Championship game last year, but there's also a hangover for teams that make it to the NFC Championship game and don't make it to the Super Bowl. It's not always a guarantee that they always get back. I think the Bengals the Chiefs are the only other team in I think the last 5 years that have made it to the NFC Championship game after losing the NFC Championship game. So there just seems a little bit of a hangover there. I don't know who it's going to be, but I don't know, man. I just I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that it's finally going to happen. We have gone from VHS to streaming, let a Cowboys Super Bowl. I don't know what technology awaits us next. We might finally get that flying car. Because right now, because the Cowboys ain't made it to the Super Bowl, we're stuck with a fucking Cybertruck. So we need to hurry the shit along a little bit. So Dallas Cowboys, I believe, are going to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC. Crazy as it fucking sounds.
Right on, brother. Right on.
Nestor, bring us back to reality.
Come on, man.
Yeah, so I think Green Bay is going to go into... No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, so This is actually pretty tough. I don't think it's gonna be the Lions. I think they exhausted um, a lot of their guns last season, and I think what Dan Campbell has said, in the off post, season, um, he's right. It's gonna be tougher for them to go into the NFC Championship game and go into the Super Bowl. It's gonna be much tougher to get to that point, and I think they're gonna struggle probably before the position they got to last season. So I see Green Bay having a great season. Although I was joking, I do actually think they're going to have a great season and could contend for that NFC championship game. But I think it's going to be. I'm going to go with the boring answer on this one. I think it's going to be San Francisco. I just feel like they're very complete. That's all. I just feel like they're a very complete team. And historically, one thing may happen, but, eventually things change. So I just feel like they're the more complete team this year, and I'm not going to go off base of history. They're just more complete. I would love to see somebody else, honestly, head into the Super Bowl like Cowboys, Green Bay. I would love it.
All right.
I would just like to point out that he's not going to go off base in history in the NFC, but he's sure shit going to do it with the AFC. Not a lick of goddamn sense. But we're going to do it.
We will see what happens, sir. I had really like 4 teams I was torn between. And I must say, I think we can all agree this was a much harder pick in the AFC.
Yeah.
But it came down to San Francisco, Detroit, Dallas, and Philly for me. And San Francisco, June and I are on the same page. The Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. And like Malin, you said, they're a CMC, ACL, or Achilles, hamstring, whatever it may be, away from just being a 500 football team. That team
He's only
is
been
just,
healthy 3 years in his career.
which is wild.
Yeah.
The team is just way too top heavy, and they are very reliant on their stars. And if you're gonna just pray that all those guys stay healthy, or just a couple of them stay healthy for the majority of a season, that's not how the NFL works. And I don't know, they've had too much drama this offseason with all the contract stuff. It just doesn't seem like they're poised to go make this last dance run. Yeah, I'm with June. I'm taking Detroit to come out of the NFC. They've just been climbing the ladder these past few years, like through the draft that they've done, bringing in Dan Campbell, sticking with Jared Goff, and making an offense that works well with how he likes to play. They just seem like they have gradually gotten right there. Not that that's a guarantee that you're going to break through that glass ceiling, of course, but in comparison to those other teams, Dallas, they almost seem just too Dak and CD reliant. And then who was the other team? Philly. I don't know. They're just kind of a wild card. I'm not sure about Philly. They could be very good or very bad. But I really like Detroit. I will say it's kind of funny that none of us picked Green Bay because they also seem like they were kind of knocking, but I haven't seen enough.
I kind of feel like they are Detroit 2 years ago or a year ago. It's kind of what I feel about Green Bay. Even though, I mean, they got some stud young wide receivers, Josh Jacobs. I'm not really sold on the defense just because they lost some starters, but they gained some other people, so you don't really know how they're going to gel. But I just want to say, if I'm right, and if this happens,
I'm buying you the biggest bottle of whiskey ever.
You can just quit the Ride or Die in 5. We don't need to do it anymore. I just win at life. If I'm right on this.
Oh gosh.
All right.
Don't even need to do it.
Let's get to MVP then. So yeah, this is who's gonna win league MVP just overall. So June, you can go
I also
ahead.
just want to let you guys know that I did put down $50 bets with Hard Rock on all of these picks.
Oh shit! Okay,
So,
Whew, nice.
so we'll see.
I love it.
Put my money where my mouth is. Put my money
Yes,
where my mouth
Lord.
is on this. I'm not just being willy nilly like some people with no closet doors.
No names though.
Oh gosh.
Miami, San Francisco, in the Super Bowl.
Woo. Old
It's the
school Super
dumbest
Bowl
Super
right
Bowl
there.
Oh my god! Actually,
It's
it'd be
an old
I don't
pretty
school
even
good.
Super
think
Bowl.
Miami fans want that Super Bowl.
I
Not
think it'd be
again.
pretty good. I think it'd be a good Super
Again.
Bowl. But hey, a Chiefs Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl would be cool too because
Ugh.
didn't the Chiefs come from Dallas?
That's
Weren't they
right.
the Dallas
They were
Texans before they were the
they
Kansas
were
City
the Dallas
Chiefs?
Texans.
Damn
Yep.
right.
Super Bowl
They were
would
the Dallas
break
Come on,
Texans.
history, baby.
every ranking ever of any kind of watched anything of all time.
You'd have the Swifties. You'd have a
Oh,
lot
God.
of
You'd have all
immigrants.
the, but
It'd be
you,
great.
Lynn Dawson's of the world, everybody that's still alive from those eras would
Yeah.
be just
If I
it'd be
was,
crazy.
hey,
It would-
let me tell you this: if the Dallas Cowboys made the Super Bowl, we're going to start a startup company. We're going to sell belts, and we're going to do a commercial during the Super Bowl for all these goddamn Dallas Cowboys fans that just need to pull up their fucking pants because they don't own belts. That we're going to sell them some belts.
Jesus.
We're going to do. All right,
Oh,
MVP. Let's go.
Go ahead, June. You can start us off.
MVP time. I know I'm gonna get killed for this, but I have to do it because Malin said it.
Oh,
Dak Prescott's gonna be an MVP this year.
Oh shit!
see what you
He
started,
is.
Malin.
Let me tell you something. He's going to prove that he needs to be paid. That he wants to be a Cowboy for life. So Dak is going to go all out this season. And I think that's why you saw him not worry about this contract thing. He didn't let it get in his head. He just went out there and he just stayed in the game. And I think in this moment, Dak Prescott is looking, said, what do I have to do to prove to them that I'm worth it? And he's going to come out this season and prove it. Hey, the league MVP is such a subjective thing anyway. Okay. It doesn't always mean the best player on the best team. It's the guy who has the best season this year. Who can have that season? Who has incentives to have that season? Dak Prescott has one of the biggest incentives in the NFL to have that MVP season because he's looking to be the guy on top of the mountain and say, hey, I'm the MVP, I got the most money, and I may get to go to a Super Bowl. What better feeling is it than that? And that's what Dak Prescott, he's looking for that storybook ending this season, and you're going to see him go all out. So,
Not mad at that. Malin.
All right, let me tell you why Dak Prescott's going to win the MVP. So, there's a few reasons. Just follow me. I know it's a loaded answer because I hate the Cowboys. Hate them.
Mhm.
But I got to look at the logic, right? Okay, Lamar Jackson. He just won it last year. Okay, we don't get back-to-back MVPs often. Second, I think Derrick Henry, if he stays healthy, will take some shine off of Lamar Jackson's stats. Maybe them rushing numbers aren't going to be what they were. The passing numbers aren't going to be what they were. I think the Ravens are going to be very good, but I just think the numbers aren't necessarily going to be there. Patrick Mahomes. Why doesn't Mahomes win the MVP every year? I don't know. The same reason why LeBron James didn't win the MVP every year for a decade. Or the same reason why Karl Malone or Charles Barkley won the MVP over Michael Jordan. Fucking idiots. Okay? So the best player doesn't always win. So you need a couple things to happen. You need great stats. Okay? The last 2 out of 3 years when Dak Prescott was healthy, 4,500 yards, over 30 touchdowns, 36 touchdowns, single-digit interceptions, 66 completion percentage. Okay? He's got the numbers. What he needs is the wins. He needs that number 1 seed in the NFC, and if I think he's going to get it, you're going to couple the stats. And somebody done got much of a running game. great running game back in 2019, not today. You got CeeDee Lamb's going to get a bunch of numbers, but wide receivers don't get MVP anymore because the quarterback's always going to have all the numbers. All right. Jared Goff is not going to get MVP. That offense is not going to be that Jared Goff centric when you got Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery there. It's just not going to happen. CMC is not going to win the MVP because I don't think that the Niners. I think they're going to be a little bit more balanced. I think Purdy's going to have a little bit more yards, a little bit more wins. But I actually really, and I hate to say this, but I actually really do think that CMC is due for an injury that's going to knock him out like 4 games. If you lose 2 to 3 games, maybe even 4 games in the NFL season, you're not winning the MVP. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the best player. It needs to be the hottest player on the hottest team. And everybody knows if the Dallas Cowboys are primed for the number 1 seed in the NFC, everybody is going to be sniffing Dak Prescott's jockstrap because he's going to be the reason why they get there. So that's what I'm saying. MVP, Dak Prescott. And you know what? I think the Associated Press would like to stick it to, Jerry Jones and say, now pay this MVP quarterback $65 million a year. Yeah. There. I made sense, Jalen. It's not just willy-nilly. I made it made sense. Made sense. Follow the breadcrumbs.
All right, Nestor.
It's there, Jalen. You know
Who
it.
is
You know
your
it.
pick?
Boring answer.
Boring.
I'm gonna go with you know what? No. I'm gonna go with the fun answer. I'm gonna go with my heart.
Oh no.
2-0 for MVP. If we get to the Super Bowl, Tua had to win. I had to win the MVP. So I'm gonna go with Tua. He was almost there. Some time ago. Before he went down. So you know what? I'm gonna go with Tua. On my boy Tua.
I think Tyreek Hill is the only wide receiver that could actually win MVP. Yeah.
Probably.
I think if Tua has MVP numbers, they're going to be like Tyreek Hill MVP.
I would see that. I can see it.
Hey, if they did it to Joe Montana, didn't Jerry Rice win MVP one year?
Yeah, he
He
did.
I think he did. If they did it to Joe Montana, they could do it to Tua.
Damn.
For my MVP, I don't have Dak or Tua. It's just funny.
Dang.
Josh Allen?
How'd you know? I have
Justin
got
Herbert.
Joe Shiesty. That man is going to be coming
Sexy,
back
sexy.
looking
Burrow.
to prove a point. How quickly we all forgot just how good Slim Shady himself is. Yeah, I think the Bengals are primed to have an excellent year. I couldn't pick up about the AFC because it's still the Chiefs' world and we're all just living in it. But they will come very close. I think Joe Burrow is going to be on a mission this year for just a comeback season. And right out the gate, he's going to stop my Patriots week 1. And yeah, I think Joe Burrow set up to have a great year.
I can't believe we're 6 years away from like the Patriots ruling the AFC. Like when Jalen says it's the Chiefs' world and we're just living in it, it makes you think 2018 was the last time.
Yep.
Like we think of that Patriots dynasty being so like not that long ago. 6 years. 6 years.
Right.
Wow.
So you guys picked Dak Prescott to win MVP, right? Let's just say, forget if the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl. Let's just say he wins MVP. Do you think at that point he won't even want to opt into whatever the Cowboys offer him? He's going to hit free agency and he's going to shop himself around.
I think it depends on what the team does. Because if he wins MVP and they make it to a Super Bowl, Like, how many times does Super Bowl quarterback opt out and go to another team? Especially
Right.
because I do think the Cowboys would open up the checkbook. I think they would do
Oh.
whatever they had to do to keep him, because Jerry Jones is all about making money. And if you got an MVP quarterback, you want to be able to cash in on that, not have him become MVP and then he's gone.
Right.
So I think he stays with Dallas. I think he stays with Dallas regardless. I think the Cowboys would be foolish to let him go. Jerry Jones, a lot of people say that he doesn't want to win a Super Bowl. He wants to win a Super Bowl, but more importantly, he does want to stay relevant. He wants his team to be relevant enough to keep making, being a $1 billion franchise. And you don't stay relevant by getting rid of one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL when you don't have another one coming on your roster. They're going to be too good to get a rookie quarterback. There's no one hitting free agency next year. This is going to be worth a damn. So
Right.
then you're going to be trading a bunch of first round picks to try to get somebody else. You really want to roll out Sam Darnold next year, Dallas? Is that who you want?
Russell
You want
Wilson?
Sam Darnold? Get Sam Darnold.
Cousins?
You can get You can get Jake Browning, backup quarterback of the Bengals, for dirt fucking cheap. There's a reason for it.
Where the boy Trey Lance at?
I mean, yeah.
Stop
Or you
playing.
can roll
Boy,
out
you better-
5
boy.
interceptions and get third
Jalen,
string.
he almost
Trey
made me
Lance.
cuss.
Let's not cuss him up for all of us.
No,
But
No,
you know what I
no,
mean?
no,
Like,
no.
he ain't going
Yeah.
nowhere. June?
I believe so. So the question is, he wins MVP. He makes it to the NFC Championship game, correct?
Sure.
Is that what you're saying, Jalen?
Right.
Okay, he makes it
Not
to
the
the championship
Super
game.
Bowl,
No,
but
they're gonna
he
pay
wins
him.
MVP.
Yeah, they're gonna pay him, and they're gonna make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. At that point, you have to. There's no way you're gonna let an MVP, and you make it to the NFC Championship for the first time in 27 years, 28 years. Quarterback, not stay on your roster. You're gonna have to do it. Now they would get rid of McCarthy before they got rid of Dak Prescott. At that point, they'll be like, "Nope, McCarthy. I think you're gonna have to go. We're gonna keep Dak, and we're gonna bring another quarterback in." I think that would happen first. Okay, that would be the first thing to happen. But I think Dak is safe because again, what we're gonna do? Try to move up and draft Shador? I mean, and there's no quarterbacks coming out.
Right.
I told somebody this earlier. This is going to be the first year where a quarterback will not be taken number one. There will not be a number one in college right now. There will not be a number one quarterback going this year. It will be an
Oh, it'll
offensive lineman or it will be a D tackle. It will
it'll
not
be
be a
Shador.
quarterback.
Yeah, it will.
No, Shador's not going number one because if you think about it,
We
you
can
think
hate
about
it all
Arizona-
we want. He's going number one.
yeah.
You know,
Arizona, Tennessee, or one of those other bad teams, Patriots, are gonna have the number one pick. So those teams are not gonna go after Shador. They already got a quarterback.
Oh,
So either they're gonna
yeah, dude,
trade
they-
out of it or they're gonna pick up an offensive lineman.
yeah. I'm
Let me
telling you right
see.
now, somebody's going to trade up and get Shador Sanders.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going
That's
number
the
one.
only way.
The hype train
don't
is
think-
real. This
Yeah.
man might be the dark skinned version of Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield rolled up in one with the way he flashes himself in college, which used to be frowned upon
Right.
until Kelly Williams started painting his nails. Now all of a sudden it's cool to just be flashy and do all that all of a sudden it's cool now and it's okay. But yeah, he going number one. And listen, I'll tell you right now, if he ever got drafted by the Cowboys,
Oh, God.
I'd be at Home Depot buying some rope. I'm just being serious. I would find a sturdy beam. I'm not there for that. I'm not there for
my
it. Might be
God.
some Jim Jones was the grape Kool-Aid. I don't know, man. We can't have Shador Sanders on the Cowboys.
No, he's not.
Can't
No,
have that.
no.
Holy
No.
shit!
My question with Dak is, do you see a situation? Well, as long as he plays well this season, I can't see him like having a bad year. Let's just say he
No.
plays well. Maybe he's not MVP. Do you think the Cowboys? Is there a situation where they don't offer him the biggest contract in history, and he goes, "No." Like he
Well-
seems like he's probably pretty set on he wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
He wants to be, but when you think about
Right.
the teams that would be able to offer him the contract he would want outside of the Cowboys, is that really a team that he would want to go to?
Right.
When you start
Right.
looking at those franchises, because he also still wants to win, and so I think his desire to win would win out, and maybe he'd take a little bit less. I mean, I think he wants to be the highest paid, but in today's NFL, highest paid means highest paid for 6 weeks,
Right.
half a year.
Exactly.
I mean, Jordan Love, the muscles on those fucking frog legs, just leapfrogging everybody with one half a season. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. At some point, Caleb Williams, if he even plays decent, is going to be making $75 million a year in 5 years. It's fucking ridiculous. So, I mean, yeah, he wants to be the highest paid. Russell Wilson wanted to be the highest paid. What the fuck did that get him? So you gotta be smart. You want to be on a relevant team.
It got him
Teams
Sierra,
that
sir.
got you.
It got him Sierra. That's what it got
Well,
him.
actually, he was not that. He was able to bag Sierra before he was the highest paid. I remember that. I remember he had to do a little video in bed with Sierra, rubbing it in everybody's faces. And he had this deep, raspy voice going, "Hey, Seattle, this your unlimited got a deal done." I mean, he did some crazy shit, just half naked in a bed, alerting to everybody that he signed a contract with Seattle. Now he already got his bag before. He got that bag after Sierra. She had some force. She had some Nostradamus shit going out there. No, that man was about to make some money.
It's a foreshadowing. She saw it.
Have a baby with Future, but she knows what the Future had and told. So, and hers a
No, I think Jalen, you hit the nail on the head when you said about what teams will be able to pay him. You know, as you saw, I don't know if you guys saw, because of course I keep up with all the Dallas news. The Raiders have been mentioned. There's been a couple other teams that they've mentioned out there. I think the Saints name got brought up. A couple of names, just a couple of the Jets name came up as a potential team to go to. But do you really want to go to any of those teams? I mean, the Jets say they're not in a rebuild, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't produce this year, that team is breaking up. Breece Hall is gone. All their top receivers are gone, and they're going to do a rebuild. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers doesn't do anything this year. So I don't think Dak wants to leave his situation. I don't think he'll give in. Like, he's not going to take $30 million. That's not going to happen. He's probably going to be in the mid-50s. If he doesn't make it to the NFC Championship game, I don't see him getting more than mid-50s. But if he makes it to that NFC Championship game, and he makes it say he does get to the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, he's going to not ask for 65. He's going to ask for 70. He is. He's going to ask for 70.
He's asking for a blank check.
I mean, why not? Yeah, he is. He's going to ask for 70. And guess what? There's no way Jerry can say no. There's no way Jerry can say no. No way. Not happening. It's not going to happen. So, Malin's right. The NFL may want to stick it to Jerry Jones. They may want to say, "Hey, we're going to give him the MVP, so you got to open your pocketbook."
That's $5 million a year.
All right, folks. I said I was going to mention what we picked last year, so I'll do that real quick before we go to break here. Last year, so Malin picked the Bengals to come out of the AFC. I picked Kansas City, and Nestor also picked Kansas City, and G Money picked the Jets.
Yeah.
Out of the NFC, I picked.
I mean, you didn't have to do them dirty like that. Oh, yeah, you look stupid.
For whatever godforsaken
Hey,
reason.
you had them going like 14-3, man. You were bullish on Seattle last year.
And then everybody else picked Philly.
Shit. God, and
Damn.
I got to watch my pick lose in the playoffs live. That's awesome.
And then last but not least, MVP. I did actually pick Lamar Jackson, interestingly enough. Malin picked Joe Burrow, and then Nestor picked Patrick Mahomes. G Money picked Christian McCaffrey.
It's a close second.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, that, had Burrow not gotten hurt, maybe my picks wouldn't have been as off base as they were.
That's my hope for this year.
That game against Jacksonville. That was rough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So week 1 is upon us, fellas. Week 1.
Yes. June, it has been real. Another great first half. Good luck to your team this weekend. You guys played the Browns, right?
Yep.
High expectations. High expectations. No pressure.
Don't act like your team ain't got no high expectations this time.
No, we don't. Shit, we
The
don't.
only team with zero
Nobody picked us.
expectations is Jalen's team.
Let's go.
They got Big
My
Draco.
team
What are you talking about?
My team at least has expectations of being average. 8-9, 9-8.
If you want to follow June on TikTok, if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan or just an NFL fan in general, it is linked down in the description below. And we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have G Money. He will give his predictions, hit some comments, and then Ride or Die in 5, folks. It is back. So we will return in about 10 minutes. Four-year window of time in the NBA was one of the most dramatic and entertaining, with the LeBron-led Heat being the center of attention. The narrative went from will LeBron ever win a title to can the Heat three-peat in what felt like the blink of an eye. But with all that being said, it always felt like that Heat team left more on the table. If LeBron returned to that same Heat team, realistically, it would have been a disaster. So we're going to make things interesting by creating our own alternate universe, a simulation full of the most quote-unquote realistic what ifs that I can come up with. We are just a couple days away from the start of the 2024 NFL season, so let's play the 3-word game. This time we're going to use 3 words to describe how you're feeling about your team heading into this season. Your team name and then your 3 words down in the comments below. I will go first. As a Patriots fan, my 3 words: extended training camp. That's how I feel that all this year is going to really be for us. We're going to figure out what we have, what we don't have, primarily what we don't have. But that's my 3 words. You let us know yours down in the comments below.
True or false? If you took Lamar Jackson and put him on the Chiefs roster with Andy Reid, they're still winning Super Bowls.
Probably. I don't know if they win as many.
At least one. At least one.
You know,
Yeah.
especially in them early years, because Lamar Jackson has never had the talent that Patrick Mahomes had early in his career with the Hill and the Kelsey
Right.
and the running backs that they had. And he's had a defensive-minded head coach, yet he's won 2 offensive MVPs.
Regular season numbers. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks. 3 straight 12-5 seasons.
But the last 2 years that he was healthy, they were 12-5. He put up 4,500 yards in 2021 and 2023, and he had 37 and 10 touchdowns in 2021, and he was 36-9 last year. If you're going to have Josh Allen in your top 5 with his 18 picks and 28 touchdowns, I think he had, but you're not going to put up somebody with 36-9.
It's the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Bears, the Packers, the Raiders, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Patriots. and the Eagles and the Saints. I think they win all of those games. Now, of course, they may drop 1 or 2 just because, but I think they have a great chance of running that part of their schedule. Matthew Stafford is poised to make another run to the NFC Championship games.
Didn't win in Oklahoma,
Oh.
ran up in the stands and was sobbing in his mom's
Being
arms.
emotionally transparent.
There's a
It's
lot
the
of
new
emotional
generation.
fortitude.
You can't count wins in the conference and stuff as barometers of how they're going to be in the pros because Peyton Manning nor Eli Manning ever won a championship in the SEC.
I got them going 11-6. To me, it's the schedule. It's pretty close to being the easiest.
You got to look at what their roster is now compared to it was the last couple of years. They're doing more now than they ever did for Justin Fields. They told Justin Fields to get your ass on the field, and we'll see what we can do.
Yo, Belichick. Pick me, man. Last pick. Oh, last pick.
What's up, guys? We are here at a Bucks creamsicle event. I don't know exactly how to describe this. The Bucks are putting on this event here for all their fans at Armature Works, and we're trying to figure out how to get people to pick our draft order for our fantasy league. We're gonna ask random people to pick a name, team name, out of this bowl, minus the marker. I've already been picked, 12th pick in our draft. We're about to find out who else is going next at number 11. So let's see what we can get into.
Brand new bitch, it's a brand new friends. Got a brand new bag, huh? That's a brand new Benz, huh? Got a brand new key, that's a brand new Benz, huh? Got a brand new watch, skeleton, huh? Diddy, huh? That's a bust down, shawty get down, huh? Shawty come around, shawty know, ain't a nigga I trust. I hit a hole in your gut, but this ain't rush. Going too fast, what the fuck? Hell, we gone. Yeah, slack at a fuck up first.
Ladies, do you mind just picking a name for us? We're trying to decide our fantasy draft.
Sure.
What does that mean?
My balls in your beer?
My balls in your beer is number 11.
Terrible friends, I'm sorry.
Malin, that's all you. Thank you, ladies. Number 11. That's only right. Do you mind just picking a name to see who goes next?
Sure. Team Johnson.
Team Johnson. Thanks, man. Appreciate
That's
it.
more team. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Azan. Son. We're just trying to decide the order for our fantasy draft. Do you mind? All right.
This is the first region. Find somebody that looks like they know a little bit about football.
I know.
Oh, your draft order.
Yeah.
All right, what number is this?
This is number 9, I think.
The KU Colts.
KU Colts at 9. Appreciate it, man.
Colts.
Shout out to Kevin. All right. All right, folks. Let's hear those week 1 fantasy lineups. Who are you starting week 1? Let us know in the comments below. Put those names down there. Who are you starting this Sunday? Well, really this Thursday. You can see who I've got here. Draft night, I'm not gonna lie, I was not too hot on this team, but I've had some time to let it sit, kind of simmer a bit. And now I'm actually feeling pretty good about this lineup. But again, folks, I want to hear what you've got going on down in the comments below. Who are you starting? Whether you think it's a great team, whether you think it's a trash team, there's no shame here. Put them down in the comments below. Let's take a look. You may think it's awful, but hey, it's week 1. We don't know what these guys are going to do. Tuesday morning may come around and you may look like a genius. So let's see him down in the comments below. Holmes, Stroud, Herbert, Burrow, Lamar.
What?
How do you have Stroud and Herbert over Burrow and Lamar?
Been to a
I mean-
one's won 2 MVPs. The other 2 have just been to the playoffs and lost.
Herbert with the Chargers had wide receivers, had a running back, and they had a defense. No. We'll see how Herbert does this year.
Tua is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. I have Tua as number 5.
TikTok number 1. The views of June Bucks Bag do not represent the rest of after further review.
I wanted to put Stafford in there. I wanted to put all these guys in there, but Tua has been on the upcharge every single year. Ever since he left Flores, he's been getting better and better. Yeah, injuries have been a setback. That's been the biggest setback about the Miami Dolphins, have been injuries. Other than that, Tua has been one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Regular season numbers, Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks. 3 straight 12-5 seasons.
But the last 2 years that he was healthy, they were 12-5. He put up 4,500 yards in 2021 and 2023, and he had 37 and 10 touchdowns in 2021, and he was 36-9 last year. If you're going to have Josh Allen in your top 5 with his 18 picks and 28 touchdowns, I think he had, but you're not going to put up somebody with 36-9.
This is a contract year for Brock Purdy, right? They re-signed him at the end of the season? Or?
Like next year's quarterback draft, from what it seems like, is not going to be all that great. So it's not like there's going to be a younger option. The bar for him is kind of high, but the team around him is so good that he can hit the bar. Unless they just were awful, which I can't see happening. I don't know why they would want to move off of him. 3 questions for Arizona Cardinals fans before the start of this season. Number 1, will Kyler Murray throw for anywhere near 4,000 yards? Number 2, what do you expect the Cardinals' record to be at the bye week? And number 3, will Trey Benson be a top 10 leading rusher by the end of the season? Cardinals fans, let us know in the comments below.
Everybody's sleeping on Rome Badunze like he wasn't the best wide receiver in the draft last year. I know Neighbors going to the Giants, really great in LSU. Harrison, I think he's going to be really good too, but I think he got a little bit more push because of his namesake. Rome Badunze is that guy. He is going to be a number 1 wide receiver. The type of immediate impact that DK Metcalf made on the Seahawks, even though they still had Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf became like the best number 2 receiver overnight as a rookie, and I think Rome Badunze is going to be better than Keenan Allen, and it'll end up being that number 2. And even if he does end up getting hurt, you still got a 1-2 punch of DJ Moore and Rome.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of your favorite show on the internet. After further review, episode 204. We've got the one, the only G Money joining us. G Money, what is going on?
Well, getting ready for that NFL kickoff tomorrow. It's been a long, lonely summer with the Mariners pretty much tanking a 10-game lead. You had the Olympics where, Paris was a cesspool. Not that it isn't anyway, but it was just a special type of cesspool. And it's kind of, you just had that void, and now that void is getting filled.
Yes, it is. That is true. Like, we had the entire Olympics this summer to at least hold us over a bit. So that was nice. I will say that, but still an off season nonetheless. So, let's go ahead and take our second round cheers. Malin should be back soon.
He's lost.
Nestor, what are you eating?
Yeah, this is some beer. It's actually what is that?
Guinness?
Chocolate ice cream flavored IPA.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. This is it's like Spanish root beer.
All right. Do want to mention that if you are not aware, you can join our Discord. It is always linked down in the description below. It is completely free to join. We do not charge you a penny to come be a part of our Discord where we talk ball pretty much every day. There you go. If you now we're talking even more now that NFL is back. But yeah, that's the place to be if you want to have G Money remind you to not get too premature about the Ride or Die 5 because it's a long season. So it's always good to have somebody talk you off of a ledge. before you get too
You only live once.
too juiced up. So
I mean, everybody wants to go 5-0. Everybody wants to be winners. You know, that's what we're all about. But you know, occasionally that 0-5 shows up, and we're all thinking it's over. Everything's over. I just lost the house. I lost the car. My wife doesn't love me anymore. You know, I'm trying to think. Can I get $15 for the dog?
T-Money's getting
Maybe
real.
the maybe the 0-5 happens a little bit more often for you and Nestor, but Jesus.
I'll never forget last year, week 1, I went 0-5. Specifically, I remember that.
Somebody
And
went
then
0-5.
I went 0-5, I think, like week 4. That was my first time 0-5 in NFL picks. I was so pissed. I was like, what's wrong with these people? Do you not watch the show?
We will get there shortly, folks. But before we get to the Rotterdam 5, let's get to these community comments. I'm gonna try and stick to probably 3 videos here.
Yes, the everybody hates Malin segment.
Right.
Yeah, this is what it's turning into. Blame me. Jesus Christ.
From last week's episode, when Malin proposed the question, if Lamar Jackson was on the Chiefs, would the Chiefs still win multiple Super Bowls? And these were some of the comments here. Slim says he had the best defense in the last 20 years last year and couldn't score 15 points in the AFC Championship. He's dog water in the postseason. Give him Moss, T.O., and Jerry Rice, and he'll flame out in the divisional. Good God.
You forget Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the Bucks? I mean, I'll talk about flaming out.
Yeah, but he was missing his 2 tackles.
I know, but still.
They were both all pros. I mean, they were both all pros.
He wasn't even great in the first Super Bowl he won either.
That was his first one.
Super Bowl. Well, it would be Lamar's first too.
Jeannie says at least one. Dalton Cooper says the answer to this is yes. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Lamar all would. Someone says the answer is no. Lamar doesn't have half the arm talent Mahomes has. Pickle Pierre says Lamar can't throw consistently enough. Kelsey would probably fight him after every single game. King Epps says this question all depends on where Mahomes goes. If Lamar is on KC, if Mahomes goes to Baltimore, I don't know. No, that's not the question. All right, Connor. They're probably 1-1, and Josh Allen and Mahomes definitely have a ring. Juan says this is a yes. Someone else says yes. They're definitely getting one with Tyreek. Yeah.
Am I crazy to think that Mahomes probably doesn't have a Super Bowl ring if he's not on Kansas City? Like, there might be maybe San Francisco. Maybe.
Yeah, if he was on San Francisco, I'd say.
Yeah, if he was on San Francisco, I could see it happen. But I don't know that. And maybe I'm wrong. Like, I believe he's a really great talent, but I also believe that he was in a perfect situation. Like, sometimes you need that great situation to be great. I mean, look at somebody's quarterbacks that have gone to Chicago with shitty ass coaches, but they have been better if they had an offensive minded coach. Aaron Rodgers had McCarthy when he first became a starter. Now Jordan Love has LaFleur, like these offensive minded people. I don't know that Mahomes would be the same if he wasn't on the Chiefs. He had a lot of talent around him in the beginning of those years and a great play caller. And I don't know.
What if Seattle had drafted him? If they had traded Russell Wilson and drafted him?
Oh my God, that would. I mean, our defense was still
that
shit,
was like
though.
2017.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's defense was still kind of crappy, but back then Seattle wanted Josh Allen too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Josh Allen needed Daboll to be able to become Josh Allen that he is now. I'm not sure that he necessarily becomes Josh Allen with Brian Schottenheimer. It's just I don't know. I just think that Mahomes was in the perfect situation where the talented team that was already winning 11 games a year with Alex Smith, and then he takes over and he takes them to the next level. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just saying he had the perfect situation. Like, is Mahomes winning Super Bowls with the Giants right now?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
we say
That's
that, but
an
Eli
excellent
did.
question.
I mean, Eli won
excellent
Super Bowls
question.
with a mid Giants roster.
I mean, I would say that if Mahomes was on the Giants, they would be a much better team than they are right now.
yes.
You know, and they would be a playoff team. The one thing with Mahomes that you don't see with Lamar Jackson is he can improvise. If everything breaks down, you don't see him scramble you don't see him run very often, but he can and will do it. Most of the time, he's kind of, in that regard, he's Russell Wilson-esque, where he runs around, finds someone who's open and hits them. Lamar doesn't do that. If his receivers aren't open, he's running the ball. And Josh Allen's the same way. You just don't see those creative episodes from any of those quarterbacks. And, oh, my God, the Giants, definitely not. Definitely not.
All right.
Is that next video?
Let's get to
Come
that
on,
second
internet.
video. So this
Here's
one
what-
was from when June and Malin both had Dak as a top 5 quarterback over Josh Allen specifically. Folks in the comments, we'll start with Keverson. He says, Allen is the only player ever with 4,000 yards and 40 plus touchdowns 4 years in a row. Yeah, and that started kind
No,
of back and forth.
that's not even accurate though.
It sounds a bit ridiculous.
He didn't have 40 touchdowns last year. Did he really have 40 touchdowns for 4 years in a row before last year?
I don't
know.
That's a good question.
It sounds interesting.
Cascade Clean Water says, okay, great. He's a good regular season quarterback. Let's hope he stays this way. Nick
He's never
says-
thrown for 40 touchdowns. What a fucking idiot. Most he's ever thrown was 37. And again, that was his best year back in 2020, 4 years ago, like I mentioned, which is why he's not top 5.
This will be
One quarterback had 36 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. One had 29 and 18 interceptions. So you do the math.
This will be a reply. Keverson. All right.
Fuck was he?
Who else is next? Nick says playing in the NFC East. Okay. Jeff says Allen had 40 total touchdowns. Are they counting rushing touchdowns? Is that what they're also counting?
They've got to be counting those.
They got to be counting rushing touchdowns because he has thrown 35, 36, and 37. So maybe they're counting rushing touchdown, but he's not throwing for them.
Right. Yadig says Romo 2.0 can't get it done in the playoffs. Sugar Cade's Saucer says no, he's not. He's mid. And he's clearly a Eagles fan by his profile picture. And someone replied to him and just says, "You're just a hater. If he was y'all's QB, he would be claiming he's the second coming of Christ." And then he came back and said, "He's not good." And then he said, "Y'all enjoy having Todd Gurley at quarterback?"
He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year. That's insane. I mean, come on. you run them inside the 5 like Cam Newton, sure. But a running back easily could have scored those touchdowns. Like, that's not Josh Allen centric. Is like he was the only one that could have scored those touchdowns from inside. Because he only carried the ball 111 times for 500 yards. Like,
We had someone in our comments several months ago who was trying to make the case Josh Allen is not a mobile quarterback. So, all right,
he's run for 700 yards 2 times. I mean, he's a little mobile.
last video,
White boy can run.
3-word game, which was use 3 words to describe your team heading into this season. And June, he says, Cowboys, it's our year. Of course, I would expect nothing less. Alex says 49ers window is closing. Steve Lyons, very cautiously optimistic. Jordan
The
says
49er one was 4 words, by the way.
just window is closing.
I thought it was 49ers window is closing.
No, I'm just giving their team name before I give the 3 words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jordan did not give his team name. He just said so much potential. So thanks, Jordan. Andrew is a Steelers fan. He says, so very nervous. Andrew, you ain't got nothing to be nervous about. Ain't nothing happening. Isaac, Eagles, Super Bowl champs. All right, Isaac. Before we move into our Ride or Die 5, G Money, we still have to get your conference winners and your MVP. So the floor is yours, sir.
So, the last 5 years in the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs have gone to the AFC Championship and won 4 of those. I don't see that changing. Unless Patrick Mahomes gets injured, book them. They're going to the Super Bowl. And as much as it pains me to do this, because I really don't like rematches, the 49ers have gone to 4 of the last 5 NFC Championship games, and 2 of those have gone to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, even though they lost an NFC Championship game, they went back and played again. In fact, they've gone to 3 in a row. So, all based, obviously, on not having any major injuries. I'm going Niners Chiefs again. Don't like it. Would rather go somewhere else, but numbers don't lie. People lie. Numbers don't lie. Remember that when you're doing your taxes, too.
Yeah, the IRS is going to get your ass.
And
yes, they will.
MVP. So, quarterbacks have won the MVP, oh my God, like 90% of the time. And I can't see a quarterback not winning the MVP. And the last time a quarterback didn't win the MVP, anybody know who that was?
Adrian Peterson.
There you go. Has a wide receiver ever won the MVP?
Jerry Rice.
Look it up. No, he did not.
No, he
That
never
was Joe
won it.
Montana.
Got it.
Never won it. A wide receiver has
he
never
did.
won it. How about this? A defensive player. Last defensive player to win MVP.
Was it Lawrence Taylor?
It was Lawrence Taylor, the last one. And the last five MVPs, right? It was Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You see a trend. I'm going Patrick Mahomes. I think if Rice does not get suspended, which for some reason the commissioner's office hasn't said what they're doing about that yet, he showed last year he can ball out. Kelsey, if he's not going to one of Taylor Swift's concerts, he can do it.
Look a little pudgier. I need a little pudgier in preseason. He looks a little. He looks a little bit like me.
It's all that. It's all that jet setting, man. It adds weight to you. Did you not notice? I don't know about you, man, but when we came back from Vegas, I put on a little weight. I felt like I put on a little weight, a little bloated, you know.
I definitely put on weight. I don't know. I think it was the alcohol, though. I think it
It could well be.
I think I was turning. I think my body was turning that shit into a sugar factory, and just packed it on the midsection. But that's fine.
It did. So I got Pat Mahomes winning MVP, the Chiefs and the 49ers in a rematch. Not that I like it, but I look at the numbers. And I tell you what, if you go to either one of the championship games, you've got that shot. And if the Niners can stay healthy on offense, they have that shot. And we already saw what the Chiefs can do. And last year was the Chiefs and no-name receivers that we didn't know who they were. In fact, we watched them drop freaking passes when they were wide open against Philadelphia, going, what the hell? What the hell? But that defense is solid. And, Andy Reid doesn't get enough credit for being the offensive mind that he is. And, you look at it and you go like, guy's a damn good coach. I mean, took McNabb and an aging T.O. to the Super Bowl. So, there we go. That's what I got.
So, just in review here, we have three people taking the Chiefs, 1 Ravens, 1 Dolphins. We've got 2 people taking the Lions, 2 people taking the Niners, 1 person taking the Cowboys, and then we've got 2 people taking Dak, 1 person taking Joe Burrow, 1 Mahomes, and 1 Tua.
And Daniel Jones.
I would like to
Daniel Jones MVP.
There could be people out there that would call me a hypocrite. I totally am. Because I took the safe pick with the Chiefs to make the Super Bowl, and then I went just balls out fucking crazy with the Cowboys on Super Bowl and Dak Prescott. So I understand I'm a hypocrite on that. Totally own that. It's gonna be fucking wild if they actually fucking do it though. And
they will.
You know
they
what?
Definitely will.
G Money, I would like to applaud you, sir, because you learned the quarterbacks win the MVP, and last year you picked CMC. That didn't work out. But he's back to the QB.
Right.
Back to the QB. Watch McCaffrey fucking win it this year, and we're all going to be goddamn angry. Because I think we all equally dislike the 49ers and wish that, I don't know, like someone would like either clap a vest or just drop a bomb on that city. But whatever.
I mean, I was hoping against hope that Ayuk would be traded and Trent Williams would sit out. But no. What happens? They sign Ayuk, and people saying, "Well, now Debo's going to get traded." No, he's not. They'll ride through this season.
Williams ends his holdout.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Amazing.
He's still going to be great, though, Gary. He's number 71, right?
Yeah.
Who's another person named who had the number 71 in the 2000s that held out in missed training camp every single fucking year and was an All-Pro and is in the Hall of Fame now? Walter Jones with the Seahawks. 4 years in a row had contract disputes, held out training camp, came in right after the preseason, and just did his thing. So I think Trent Williams is going to do the same thing.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I was so hoping that they wouldn't find the money or they would decide to do something else. And I kept hoping they'd trade Ayuk. I was like, send him to the Patriots. Send him to the Patriots. But no, that didn't happen.
Send CMC to the Patriots. I don't give a shit. Send somebody.
He really wanted to stay in San Francisco. He just wanted the money. And he was going to get the money. They figured out how to do it, and it's going to bite them in their ass. It's going to bite them in their ass probably in a year or two, because they're kicking the can down the road. That's what the Rams did. They kicked the can down the road, and then they couldn't continue to do it.
But yet, everyone but me is picking them to win double-digit wins. Fucking Rams.
All right, let's finally get to the Rod or Die in 5.
The reason why you watch the show.
Yes, folks. It's been on a long
We're all
pause.
positive. We'll make you money.
Right.
We're all positive. We ain't got no Shaq
Right.
on this
Sinking.
roster anymore. Ain't nobody in the negative.
Last
Yeah.
time we did this
Yeah,
segment
stink too.
was the NBA Finals, so we are back.
Damn.
We are back. So, if you're new to the show, the way this works is we give you the 5 best, in this case, NFL bets to make this coming NFL week. And we each take a turn to give you a pick on either, the spread, like we're picking the spread, or you can take the money line, but you just cannot take the favored team in the money line. So there's that. But yeah, you'll get a take from each one of us. So the records are as follows. There was a little snafu with the numbers. I didn't update them after our last time that we picked during the finals, so I had to go back to that episode and update the numbers. But
But the number, I mean, sure, we all picked the Celtics to win the last game.
yeah, we picked 2 games that one. But anyway, it's 2. I'm 287, 231. I'm plus 56. Malin is 265 and 210. He's plus 55. G Money is 193 and 163. He's plus 30. And Nestor is 167 and 142. He is plus 25.
Hey,
So-
someone's got to bring up the rear, but you're still plus 25, mister.
right.
Yeah.
Which means you're still making money.
Exactly.
If you take this man's bet over the last 2 years, you're still up.
Yeah.
Funny
Yeah.
to put it that way.
And
Well,
I
I'm
tend
just
to
saying,
think
man.
that if you look at our numbers over the last couple, even over the last year, we're doing better than some of the betting services. I'm just going to put that out there.
Even
I didn't
if you
mean
took 4th place, even if you took Nestor's picks all of last year, you're still making money.
Exactly.
And that's not slight, Nestor, because you were like, I think you were plus 13 last year. I think you were in the teens before we
Yeah,
started
I
the
think so.
NFL season last year. So, I'm just saying.
You got
Making money.
to stick with it, folks. 'Cause there's some down weeks.
Stick
But
with it.
The numbers show if you stick with us for a whole
First 2
season.
weeks. Hang on.
Hey, we might have some 0-5s, but we're going to have some 5-0s too.
Right.
that's right.
Right.
And
Look,
we are not charging you for this either.
exactly, folks. These are free picks, which, hey, profitable picks. Can't find them everywhere.
My betting account is still up since I started.
There you go.
Um,
There you go. We're like
just
the
saying,
stock market.
I put $500 in. The moment I became a regular on the show, I put $500 in an account. And I have used that to bet all of my picks. Now, I used to do higher bets. Sometimes I only do $5 bets or whatever, but I still bet my 5 picks.
Yeah.
And I think I got a little over like 1,300 now in that account right now. And I only use it for the ride or die and 5 picks. So we're up.
There you go.
All of us people.
All right. Let's get to the first game of the week, which is tomorrow night's game, the opener, the Ravens at the Chiefs, where the Chiefs are 3-point favorites to hold their home field. G Money, we'll start with you. What do you like here? Excuse me.
I like Baltimore. Kansas City historically has started off slow, and then basically by like week 4 or 5, opened it up. So if you're going to give me 3 points, I'm going to take Baltimore in the 3.
All right. I will go next here. I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover. This Chiefs team, at least on paper, is better than they were last year. And to me, the only reason they lost last year's opener is because they didn't have Kelsey and they didn't have Chris Jones. But since those guys should be playing, their offense is better. No more Kadarius Toney in the mix. Receivers that can seemingly catch the ball. I think they can cover 3 points. I think this will be like a 5-point game, something like that, where the Ravens will have the chance to win it with a touchdown, but just come up short. So give me the Chiefs to cover. Malin.
I gotta go with the Chiefs on this. Since 2018, well, actually, I mean, since all the way from 2014, they've won 8 out of their last 10 Week 1 games, and they've only since 2018 they've only not covered twice. That was last year in their loss to Detroit, and then back in 2021, the year after they lost the Super Bowl, they didn't cover against Cleveland. But every other year they've covered. I mean, we're talking a 38-28 win over the Chargers, 40-26 over Jacksonville, 34-20 over Houston, 44-21 over Arizona. They G-Money's right. They start slow, but they usually win week 1. And so if you're giving me 3 points, I can't bet against the Chiefs in a primetime situation when you're going to drop the banner, all that stuff. I know they lost last year to the Lions, and that's probably the best team they've played since 2018. So G Money might be on to something there. Trying to talk myself out of it. Okay, I'm talking myself out. I'm taking Baltimore because I'm looking at the rest of these teams, man. Jacksonville, Houston, Cleveland, Arizona. What the fuck are these teams? Detroit's the best team they played so far on week 1, and they lost that fucking game. I think Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, 3 points. Give me Baltimore.
Okay.
I just pulled a Nestor. Jesus Christ. Pulled a Nestor.
Nestor.
I started looking at those teams, man. I was really solid about it, and then I started looking at who they played. I was like, no wonder they fucking beat all them teams by double-digit points.
That's right.
Oh, you might have got that Eagle rare.
Yes, I do. And I thank you for that, too.
I'm taking Kansas City. I don't trust that O-line for the Ravens. I agree with Jalen. I think Kansas City is better this year, and they have Travis Kelce healthy. They're going to ball out. They're going to beat the Ravens. So, yeah. Give me Chiefs.
All right, let's get to Friday night's game. The first Brazil game between the Packers and the Eagles, where the Eagles are the home team, where they are 2.5-point favorites. I will go first here. This was, out of all these, the hardest one for me to pick, just because it's obviously in a foreign country, weird day for a week 1 game. And then both of these teams, I just can't really seem to get a good read on them throughout the offseason. I'm just kind of randomly picking this one. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover, simply because I kind of feel like they can't afford to get out to a slow start. Like if they are 0-1 or hell 1-1 after week 2, I still think the media is going to be on their ass, and this team they are this close to away from just imploding. That's just what they seem like to me, and I just don't think they can come out slow this season. The Packers can. They can drop a couple of games early on. That's fine. But the Eagles, I feel like they've got a lot of eyes on them with this star-studded roster. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick them to win this. Should be a good game though, and it'll be close. So I'll take the Eagles to cover. Malin.
I'm taking the Packers. I think the Packers have a better roster. I think the Eagles are in a make or break year, like you said. They can't afford to do it. I think they're going to press a little bit. I don't like their coordinators. I don't know what to expect without Jason Kelce running center for Jalen Hurts. I think Saquon Barkley is a great addition, but with that offensive line with the question marks, I'm not sure. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be better with the Packers, and Saquon Barkley is going to be better with the Eagles. And I just think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. We've seen one half of a season of great football out of both of those quarterbacks. If you're being honest, we've seen one half of a season out of both those quarterbacks. But I do think that Jordan Love is a better quarterback right now. And I'm going to go ahead and take Green Bay. Go ahead and give me that 2.5 points.
Nestor.
Yeah, this is pretty tough. Supposedly, the younger squad should, benefit more from the travel, or be less affected by the travel. But it's Brazil. It's going to be horrible for both teams. At the same time, I feel like teams that are more like, veteran teams, they do better internationally. I kind of recall, I don't know, just give me Green Bay. I don't like it, but because I do agree with Jalen. Like Philadelphia's going to come out trying to establish themselves, and start the season well off. So, but give me Green Bay. I'm high on Jordan Love and the squad they have. Not so much their coaching, but their squad's pretty good.
The fact that the NFL is changing their uniform policy and allowing the Eagles to wear their black pants, their black helmet, because they're so scared of teams wearing green, says something. It's just wild to me. I do think it's a cool look, though, for the Eagles. I think that uniform combo looks great. I don't know if you guys have seen it. With the white jersey and the black pants and the black helmet,
Yeah.
I think it looks great. But the fact that the NFL is bending the rules on when you can wear your alternate helmet because of gangs. This ain't Colorado. You don't got no Venezuelan gang holding up goddamn apartment complexes right now down there. That's some wild shit going on
It's
there. in
safe for the
Colorado.
LA.
Yeah. I guess it is.
G Money.
Yeah, give me the Packers. I really don't know how well Philly's O-line is going to do without Kelsey. Yeah, he made a lot of calls. He made a lot of protection calls, so Hurts didn't have to. Now Hurts is going to have to make those calls. And I see a little bit of a learning curve there.
All right. Let's get to our first 1:00 game on Sunday. We've got a battle of some Florida teams here. The Jags at the Dolphins. Dolphins 3-point favorites at home. Malin, you can go first.
This line doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
The home team always gets 3 points to start, right? And then you're either better or worse based off that 3 points. And it makes me nervous that Vegas has this line. Like, what do they know? What do you know, Bellagio? What is happening, Caesars, MGM, that we don't know about? Like, is Tyreek Hill, is he about to get caught in the bed with a male prostitute? Like, what is happening right now?
Oh no.
This -3 line, this 3-point line makes no sense. It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous that they have this line. But I gotta take Miami. I think Miami's a better team. I think they had a more talented roster. I think they have the better coach right now, at least on offense. I know that Doug Peterson's won the Super Bowl, but he ain't really done shit with this Jacksonville team. Sunshine, he's been hot and cold. Now he's got this contract, so now there's even more pressure. You don't even got Calvin Ridley anymore. Not like you really threw the ball to him much anyways last year. I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like Jacksonville is fool's gold. But this line makes me nervous. This 3-point line makes me nervous, but I got to go Miami.
Nestor.
I think Jacksonville has a pretty good team. I think they have a lot of good pieces in there, and maybe there is some type of concern over the wide receivers right now, with Hill having whatever I think they'll get the job done.
All right, G Money.
Yeah, I see Miami winning this game. And as far as the point spread, -3. I think that Vegas doesn't quite know what to make of either of these teams. And if you set it at -3, that means you're getting a lot of bets on each side. So you, as a casino, you're getting the VIG. And that's what you care about. You don't give a rat's ass who wins. You want to get the VIG. You want to get as many people betting on both sides as you can. And -3 for the first week of the season, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Dolphins to cover this one. This, to me, was the easiest one out of these 5 games. So, all right, let's get to the Sunday night game. We've got the Rams at the Lions, where the Lions are 3.5-point favorites. Nestor, we are starting with you.
Oh, this is either a genius pick or this is exactly what leads me down to the first 0-5. This cements it.
No, don't say
I'm
that.
with the Rams.
You've said a lot of the same. You've agreed with me on every pick. 0-5 my ass.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Give me
I
that,
like the
Juju.
Rams. I'm high on their little wide receiver tandem they got going on with Puka and Cooper Cup. God, those two names just repeating. It's just. I just feel like they're underrated. I feel like if everybody's healthy, they have Connor Williams. I think they're a pretty good team. A lot of people are overlooking them. It's gonna be a close game. I love that spread. So give me the Rams. It's gonna be a pretty close game. I still think the Lions might win, but not by more than that spread. So yeah, give me the Rams.
G Money.
I'm taking Detroit. I look at the Rams' defense, a little concerned. Obviously, they don't have Aaron Donaldson anymore, who was a major reason their defense was so good. I mean, he would demand a double team and at times a triple team, and he would still get to the quarterback, which would then give your corners the opportunity to cover and get interceptions. I don't know who they've got now, no clue, but I'm pretty sure Detroit's going to figure out who they have and exploit that. So give me Detroit -3.5.
Yeah, I agree with G Money, especially on the lack of Aaron Donald. It's going to be the first game without him. I think it's going to take them defensively a little while to get used to not having that anchor there. So I think this will be a very good offensive game. But at the end of the day, Detroit at home, I think they'll just be able to outscore the Rams by probably about a touchdown. So, yeah, Malin.
Yeah, I like Detroit in this. I don't like the Rams' offensive line. I don't like their running game. I don't like their defensive line, and I don't like their secondary. So I love their passing game. I like their linebacking core. I think they're going to have a lot of high scoring games because I think it's going to be boom or bust with them. But I think that Detroit has a better defense, and I think that Detroit can match them on offense. And they're at home on a Sunday night after they just went to the NFC Championship game. I think there's more substance than hype with Detroit, and I think there's a little more hype than substance when it comes to the Rams. So I'm going to take Detroit.
All right. And to round
And we lost
things
you
out-
money, and he has to go next.
I'll go first on this next one.
Okay.
To round things out, we got the Monday night game. First Monday night game, and Roger Goodell said, we are getting Aaron Rodgers on Monday night. We didn't get him last year.
It's
We're
the
getting it
Niners.
this year. We've got the Jets at the Niners. where the Niners are 3.5 point favorites. I'm taking the Niners to cover the 3.5 points. I think this will be a great game. I love this matchup, and I just love the fact that the NFL is sold on getting the Aaron Rodgers New York Jets on Monday night. So yeah, I think the Niners will win this one. They are fully healthy, and at home we still have to see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets like gel and get that worked out, which we haven't. They haven't had that chance yet. So this Niners team is mainly the same. They're at home. I think they'll win this handily. So good game, but yeah. G Money, we'll go to you next. Jets at
Yeah.
Niners.
I definitely like the Niners. I think it's going to be interesting with the new O line that the Jets have. If they can protect Aaron Rodgers more than the 3 plays that the old Jets line did last year. Give me the Niners in 3.5. They're at home. They've got everybody back. No one, as far as I can tell, is injured on the Niners. The defense is solid. I'd probably give the edge to the Jets on defense, but offensively, it's got to be the Niners.
Malin.
Yeah, I mean you can look at both teams' offenses. Aaron Rodgers, Purdy. You'd probably go Aaron Rodgers over Purdy, even though he's in his 20th year. You look at the wide receiver core, you got to go Niners. You look at the running back, even though they got Brees Hall, you got to go Niners on that. But then you look at the defense, and I know that the Jets got sauce. I know they got players, but you got a potential all-pro on the line, the linebacker, and the secondary with the Niners and Bosa, Warner, and Ward. If this game was played in New York and you were giving me the spread, maybe I take New York. Maybe. But at home, you got all your pieces. You're ending holdouts. You're paying IU. You got everyone's healthy. I just like San Francisco in this. I don't see Aaron Rodgers having enough week 1 with this team because he only had 4 snaps last year. And you're right. This is the Aaron Rodgers New York Jets because if Zach Wilson was still quarterbacking this team, this would not be a Monday night game. But I like the Niners.
And Nestor.
So I think the Niners are gonna have a little bit of rust, and we always see these week 1 game flukes. And I think the Jets have enough with Garrett Wilson, with Aaron Rodgers. I know he hasn't played more than half a game with the Jets, but I just feel like they have enough with Brees Hall. What with Brees Hall? Even though they don't have a good O line, I think they're gonna make it a good game. And give me the Niners to cover.
Exactly. I fucking knew it. The moment that was a classic Nestor, right there. The moment he started talking, I was like, "There ain't no goddamn way he's taking the Jets. Ain't no way."
I had to do it. The first, gotta die.
First one back. All right. So to recap, G Money and Malin are taking the Ravens in the points tomorrow night, with Nestor and I taking the Chiefs to cover. I am the only person taking the Eagles to cover on Friday night. The rest of you guys, Packers. We are all taking the Dolphins to cover against the Jags. Nestor is taking the Rams in the points Sunday night. The rest of us are taking the Lions to cover.
Instant regret.
And then we are all taking the Niners to cover on Monday.
Jalen, we have an opportunity right now where you could either be 3 up on me, or we could be tied, or I could be up 1 after this week.
Right.
I feel like you and I are going to be doing this a lot.
It's going to be a dance.
I feel like there's
Mhm.
always going to be a couple games that we're going to be off on, and we're just going to be doing
Right.
this dance. It's going to be,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. Yeah. I had what, like a 10-game lead last year on
Right
the
around
season?
there.
That's This is my comeback. This is my Eras tour. I'm living in my Eras tour right now. Happening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. There's no ladies that watch the show. We will talk to you all.
Hey, my mom watches this show. Watch your mouth.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
She watches live too, man.
Lady and gentlemen.
There you go.
We'll talk to you all next week once we are a week in to this season. And hey, good luck to everyone's team this week. And be sure to follow us. Links are all down in the description below. Talk to you all real soon. Peace out.
Peace.